Today I found an interesting find on Amazon. This is the Grand Harvest 25-in-1, and it just arrived tonight at my doorstep, and I thought I would go over it because I got this for $22. Now, I don't know if that's still possible for you to get it at this good a price. It may be gone by the time this review goes out. Right now it's online for $29, I think, which is still not too bad a deal considering what you're getting. I actually like this Multitool, and this is it. So you will recognize this perhaps from a couple weeks ago. I reviewed some, it may have been a month or so ago, from AliExpress. And it comes in this really unique size where it's almost more like the Leatherman Free series, where it's not really 4.5 inches, but it's about 4.25 inches or somewhere around that 11 centimeter length size. So you're right in between the Wave and the Surge. It's a little bit of a big tool, and it comes with this knife, and I want to talk about that a little bit more. They're changing what they're calling it, so we'll get into that in a little bit. Now with this one, they've made it a little bit cheaper so they can lower the price. Again, I think with tariffs, there's a lot of ways they're trying to still bring products into the country, but essentially find a way to pay for the increase in tariffs. So this one will not have a bit driver. It will actually have this adapter, and then it will have these bits right here, which fit in the back of the sheath. This is actually one of the nicer sheaths. I actually like it. And then the other thing I really like about this, or another thing, is it has these glow-in-the-dark tabs. So let's go ahead and check those out. These are always fun to see. I really like these, and I think this is actually a pretty good idea. You can see where the wrench is in the way. It even blocked the light on the glow-in-the-dark tab, but yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. Now, as with the other one that I mentioned, I really like the stonewash finish essentially on the outside. I am a huge fan of that for multi-tools. Almost has an antique look, flat black right here. I think that's really cool. We have a pocket clip, which is really neat on some of these larger tools. They don't put a pocket clip on, but I really like that. And then this wrench, I'm not a huge fan of these, but I know some people do like them. So that's all right. It's not really taking up a lot of extra space. You could probably take this off if you hated it, but where it is, it's not a huge deal. Now, it may make it, I think it makes it so this file is a little bit shorter, which I don't like. There is a ruler markings on the other side, screwdriver on the end, which probably isn't the best choice. And then on the other side of the saw is a little bit shorter as well. But again, I don't use the saw in the file that much on my multi-tool, so that doesn't really matter that much to me. The important thing is it has a very long set of scissors and a very long knife. Let's go ahead. All right, we'll get these scissors. Let's see here. I don't know. All right. There. Yeah, so it works pretty good. So this knife right here is interesting because it comes in right around 3.25 inches where you can use the blade. And they have made a big change with this where they are no longer calling it Damascus. They're actually labeling it 9CR18MOV. So again, they are claiming it's an upgraded version. It's not like 5CR or even 7CR. They're calling it the 9. And then they're talking about made with special materials. So yeah, not Damascus anymore, but it is supposed to be better blade material. And then right here we have the pliers. Very cool. I really like these pliers right here. I like the design. I like that it has a space where you could have the crimper on the bottom, replaceable wire cutters. When you have this extended, the pliers, the handles, all the outside implements, the glow in the dark, I'm all a fan. It's just the inside implements that I'm not a fan of. A couple of them on this side, they're not bad. You've got the awl. And then on this side, they're trying to take like out of the Leatherman Free Series playbook where you have a scraper and then you have like a pry bar here on the end. Maybe you could classify that as a screwdriver of sorts, but it's more of a scraper right there. And then you have the bit adapter that goes with the kit. And these bit adapters sometimes, wow, they are really in there tight. All right, so I almost broke the rubber sleeve trying to get this out, but eventually I did get it out. And let's close the all so I don't, and these are all locking the implements everywhere. All right, now how? There we go. So fits in there. A little bit of wiggle. Now some people complained that, I felt like they complained there was a lot of wiggle here maybe, but it actually feels better than some other ones I've seen. Now some of these cheaper adapters do have a tendency to lose their magnets, but no, the magnet is still staying in. Okay. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good adapter and set for the money. Not bad at all. One of the things I did not mention is I'm a huge fan of even the detail like the how these thumb studs are designed. I really like that. Like for more grip. Yeah, pretty big fan of this actually. Now the other side is where things get a little sketchy because the serrated blade is nice. The short serrated blade, have no problem with that. The rope cutter, I guess, is okay. I don't know why we need that with a serrated blade and a very long blade, but you do have that as well. And then we have the can opener right here and the bottle cap lifter with the flat screwdriver on top, which I am not a fan of. If you're really needing to torque something, you don't want a big cutout of metal right there, and you might want it a little bit thicker. But that's what we have. Not the worst tool set ever, but not my favorite. I would prefer like a standalone bit driver right there. One of the last things we need to talk about is weight. This does come in at 275 grams. Or when we move it over to ounces, it does come in at 9.7 ounces, which is about an ounce heavier than the Leatherman Wave. And then, it's a couple ounces lighter than the Leatherman Surge. So it's right in between there. Not extremely heavy, but not extremely light. So overall, I think this is a fairly good product for the price. And I would definitely advise you, if you're interested, to get one before it disappears. A lot of these multi-tools lately are just disappearing, and there's a lot of the ones that I've recommended that I can't even find anymore, which is a little disappointing, but I've just got to hunt harder, and I'll keep bringing you guys videos of the deals I find.